The Sims 3 is a game released in 2009 that aimed for a more grounded and realistic style, and like most titles from that era of gaming, it kinda aged like milk. That's not to say there isn't visual aspects of the game that still hold up, as the world design and environments can be stunning, but I would not blame anybody for being put off by the game's visuals. Thankfully, there are a lot of things we can do to bring the game closer to modern standards, and while this guide won't have the full effect of a big budget remaster, it will definitely enhance plenty of the game's visuals. We are going to be focusing on two core elements, enhancing the environments and the lighting. I want this guide to remain pretty close to the OG visuals, so we won't be doing anything to make the game look like a Pixar movie in this guide. Also do note, I will not be showing off ReShade in this guide. ReShade can be a valuable tool, and I've recommended it in the past, but it is heavy on your PC, and the best effects like ambient occlusion and depth of field don't work well in The Sims 3 at all. Feel free to use ReShade on top of this guide if that's more your style. Before we get started, let's make sure you have a properly set up mods folder. For this, you're going to want to go to your Documents folder, find the Electronic Arts folder, then The Sims 3. Inside the Sims 3 folder, you're going to create a folder and name it Mods. Head into the Mods folder and create two more folders, named Packages and Overrides. The last step is to add a resource.cfg file into your Mods folder, which I'll link in the description below. Once you've done this, your game should be ready to have mods installed. Some people will say you also need to install a 4GB patch to The Sims 3, but this is not true and you do not need to do it. Sims 3 is already large address aware, and if you are up to date, you're good to go. The 4GB patch will not make a difference. Let's get started with some environment mods. The first mod will add HD replacements for a lot of the terrain textures in the game, creating a more crisp look to the ground. There are three different versions, a 1K, 2K, and 4K version. 1K will be the best option for lower end PCs, and 4K will be the best looking option, but won't work well unless you have higher specs. I personally only use 2K simply because I don't find 4K to look that much better, and Sims 3 has a limited amount of memory it can work with, so we don't want to take up too many resources. To install this, just download the version you want, and add the contents of the folder to your Packages folder. You should be able to see an instant difference in-game with many of the terrain paints, although some are not going to be covered by this mod. Next, let's download a replacement for the night sky. I like to use Nilxus Milky Way Night Sky. It's a gorgeous and detailed texture replacement. Installation is as simple as placing the file into your packages. While we're improving the night sky, we should also replace the moon. For that, we will use this beautiful enchanted moon. This comes with the sky mod, but for this guide, we're just going to be using the moon file. That's all you need. Again, you're just going to place the file right into your Packages folder. Now let's head back to the daytime and replace the clouds with these wonderful realistic clouds by Nilxus. They are so gorgeous and fluffy, and they make the sky look mesmerizing. This cloud replacement will also be placed directly into your Packages folder. Next, we're going to replace the snow. Friendly tip, you can automatically spawn deep snow into your world by enabling testing cheats, shift-clicking on the ground, and selecting Set Snow Level. That'll make it a lot easier for you to check that the mod is installed correctly and working. We're going to be using a mod called Snow But Better. This mod is subtle, but lends a more detailed look to the snow. Again, this will be placed in your Packages folder. Finally, we will install a mod that overhauls the appearance of lightning strikes. This mod is called Lightning Enhanced and has many different options for colors of strikes. I personally went with the version that includes all the colors for variety, but if you just want realistic lightning, you can go with the blue or yellow. To install this, we're going to put the lightning crater and fog merge files into your Packages folder, and then the clouds texture, lightning texture, and sky lightning flavor of your choice into the overrides folder. You can once again use testing cheats to spawn a storm to see if it's working correctly, but you're going to have to wait for lightning to strike. Alright, so that wraps up the environment part of this guide. If you follow the steps correctly, you should now have sharper terrain textures, beautiful night skies, enhanced clouds and snow, and crisp and colorful lightning strikes. These are all subtle enhancements, so don't worry if you don't see a huge difference yet. Now we're going to work on overhauling the lighting in our game. This is where things will get a bit more complicated, but if you follow the steps correctly, everything should work fine. First, we need to download and install Lazy Duchess's Pixel Shader. This really doesn't do anything on its own, but will be needed for the other visual enhancements in this section. To install this, you will need to locate your Sims 3 install directory. If you're playing on EA app, you can do this by going to the Sims 3 page and clicking Manage, then View Properties. From there, you can hit Browse and it will open up the directory for you. To find your bin folder, just go to Game, then Bin. This is where you will place the Pixel Shader files. If you have the Smooth Patch by Lazy Duchess, it will ask you to replace some files. The files are the same in both downloads, so it doesn't matter if you do or not. In order for this to now work, you must launch your Sims 3 game by clicking on the newly placed TS3 Patch Launcher executable. Otherwise, the shader will not be active in your game. With that installed, we can now install Lazy Duchess's shader tweaks. This mod does a lot of stuff, all pretty subtle. It fixes issues with Sims 3 shaders like body hair looking off in game, outdoor lighting washing out Sims, and does subtle things like allowing walls to give off color onto a sim. Installation is easy, just extract the contents right into your Sims 3 bin folder. Remember, this will not show in game if you do not launch through TS3 Patch Launcher, unless you install the next mod as well. The next mod is Lazy Duchess's Extended Shadows. This mod increases the draw distance of shadows and adds shadows to the world map. Installation for this is a bit tricky. First, you will need to go into your bin folder and find graphics rules. Open that in Notepad and then hit Ctrl F and type in shadow map size. Hit enter and search until you find the shadow map size for high settings. We are going to change the number next to it to 4096, enabling a crisp look to the shadows. This is mandatory for the mod to look good. Go into the presets folder of the download and choose the 4K preset file. Place that file into your bin folder, then also place the 3 other files that came with the mod into the bin folder as well. If you use EA app, we will need to download Lazy Duchess's custom launcher for this to work. To download it, just extract the files to your bin folder. Now you can launch Sims 3 once again from the EA app, no need to use the Sims 3 patch launcher. You will get a pop-up, just click yes. Make sure Load ASI Mods is checked in the launcher. Now you should have shadows in your world map view, as well as be able to see shadows from much farther away. The final Lazy Duchess shader mod we want is the split level lighting fix. This mod fixes the Sims 3 borked split level lighting on exteriors of buildings. To install, first we will add the default file from the packages folder into our packages folder of the Sims 3 mods folder. Then drag the rest of the stuff into your bin folder. Use the custom launcher for this mod, otherwise it will not work. And now you should have smooth lighting across split levels. Now let's download a mod called Improved Environmental Shadows. This mod will make the shadows deeper and darker, as well as more dynamic in their movement according to the sun position. It really adds visual depth to the outside environments. Simply download and place both files into your packages folder, and check to make sure it is working. This mod will have a huge impact. Finally, we need a lighting mod. I chose one called Uranesia Lighting Mod. This mod adds so much beautiful colors to the sunrise. Just make sure to go with the no green version. The sky will be brighter blue with this mod as well. I went with the brighter water and darker night preset. I like the water being a little more vibrant, but thankfully this mod doesn't lean too cartoony and bright like a lot of lighting mods will. Alright, and with that final mod installed, we should have a much cleaner, vibrant game with deep shadows that add beautiful contrast to the world. From here you could add ReShade, but I find that the game looks better with this cleaner look. ReShade tends to add a lot of artifacts to the screen and blow out the UI. There are a ton of other visual enhancement mods for The Sims 3, but these are the ones I use and like. If you have some other recommendations, leave them in the comments below. Remember not to go too crazy with visual enhancements in The Sims 3, as the game does have a limited amount of memory, and some of these mods may add to the resource heaviness of the game. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day.